Hey family, so I decided to make some medicine today and I thought you guys may want to see what goes down in my kitchen. So here we go. Here I am taking an herb called calendula and I am going to make some infused oils. This herb is really good for any type of skin condition and since my son has eczema, we're going to be using it for that, and also other scrapes, bruises, cuts, dry skin that any of us may get. So as I sift through and garble through the herbs and try to take out any fibrous stems or any other unwanted material from the herbs, I carefully go through and I'm also setting intentions for wellness and healing. So as I said, this is for my family, so I'm just gonna take a few handfuls and fill up this quart-sized jar just halfway. So I think that's a little bit too much. I'm gonna go ahead and add some to the second jar. So since one jar will be used for my son's oil, which again is good for like eczema and things like that, and then the other jar I'm going to be using to infuse a lighter oil. So here I am taking organic extra virgin olive oil, and the reason I'm using this one is really high in fat soluble vitamins. So what that does is really help to repair and rejuvenate damaged skin. So this is going to be really good for his eczema. Next, in my second jar, I'm going to be using my favorite oil to cook with, and that is grapeseed oil. And if you guys haven't caught on already, that is one thing I really love about plant medicine, is that if I'm not going to put it in my body or on my body, then it might not be that good for me. So I'm using the grapeseed oil. That is really good in toning and is good as an astringent, and it won't make my skin feel as greasy as if I was using the extra virgin olive oil. So that's why I went ahead and made two. Now I am just labeling my herbs so I can know exactly which infusion is which, and that will save me time later trying to guess. You may think, well, olive oil has a really strong smell, so I'll know, but I wouldn't take that chance. So yeah, I'm just labeling them and adding the date to them as well so I can know exactly how long they should be sitting. Now I am just poking the herbs down to make sure they are all evenly covered, and I am going to also make sure that there are no bubbles or air pockets or anything like that. Next, you're going to want to take your parchment paper to keep your jars from getting rusty. I would prefer to use an organic, non-bleached paper. I am not in the business of wasting what I have, so once these are all out, you will see me using organic hemp paper or just a more natural paper, but this works extremely well and it keeps my jars from getting rusty. So next I'm going to make an echinacea tincture using some echinacea flowers, and what I'm doing here is just adding them to my measuring bowl, which I have set up on my large kitchen scale, which in the end I pretty much ended up not using, and I ended up going with a more folk method, which is what our ancestors did before modern medicine. So though I called the ancestors to guide me through this, I still had to check my notes and just make sure a few things were aligned. and which they were, and I was very pleased with how my tincture was beginning to come out. So here I'm just doing the same thing like we did with the oil infusion. I am adding my dry herbs to a quart size jar, and I am just filling it up halfway. So for this tincture, of course, I am going to macerate the herbs in alcohol. That is the menstruum that I have chosen to use as my solvent, and so I'm doing the same process, covering them just as I did with the oil, and now I am just making sure they are fully covered using the stick. And again, guys, this is pretty much the same process. I am just covering it with a piece of parchment paper to keep my jar from rusting or from any of the chemicals on the metal lid from seeping in. So thanks for hanging around so far, you guys. We have completed 2 oil infusions and a tincture, and we are going to do just one more. So now this herb is called stinging nettle, and this is really good for back pain as well as arthritis. It's good for your kidney, for your liver, and so we are going to be using that for a few different things, and I am going to gift this to a few of my family members who I know are dealing with some of these ailments. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. You guys have been showing so much interest into my health journey, and I really appreciate having you guys for the ride. So I really wanted to show a little bit of behind the scenes and what I do, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And I really hope that this inspires you to take your health back and use your food as medicine and find these good herbs. They were placed here for us, and if you do not have access to them, please reach out to me. If you're interested in anything that I made here, reach out and I can connect with you. Thank you guys.